Hello and good evening. Welcome to the UN podcast. My name is Shelvon and welcome to 2025. All right. So, how you guys doing out there? Today I'm kind of flying solo, you know. It's kind of how it goes. You got to be consistent. You got to keep going no matter what happens and stuff happens in people's lives. So, this particular episode is probably not going to be that long. I'm just going to cover the topics that I picked, and I think there's one more. So let's get started. And the first one is a little bit of TV action. So, all right, let's check this out. To share my screen, and it is. Where did I put that at? Okay, no. Huh, I didn't. What the hell? All right, hold on. Alrighty. Yeah, I just saw this. What the hell? Ah, there it is. All right. And I know this is making for. Here we go. All right. Okay, there's a new there's a new rumor out about Marvel Studios is now rebooting Netflix's final MCU show. New rumors points to a Marvel Studios rebooting the show and a certain murderous vigilante. I'm assuming that this is the Punisher. The rumor claims that Marvel Studios finally plans to reboot Netflix's last Marvel show into the MCU. While Jessica Jones was the last Marvel series to stream on Netflix, with its third and last season released on June 4th, 2019. I don't think I actually watched that. The Punisher is the final show developed for Disney's competing streaming service. Its second and final season was released on Netflix January 18, 2019, with the last shot of John Berthal's Frank Castle in the MCU, being him in full Punisher regalia, shooting up gangbangers. However, the violent vigilante is set to return in Daredevil Born Again, with a revived rumor of a reboot in the wings. In the post of his Patreon, Scooper Daniel Richmond claimed that he once again heard that the new Punisher show is in development with no further details. I'm a bit curious as to what they're going to do because that's kind of not. Oh, hold on. Oi, I am not alone today. What's up, dude? Oh, you got like, hold on. You got a lot going on. Hello.
Hey, hello.
What's up, dude?
Hi, guys.
Oh, there's no guys. It's just me and you.
Hey, guy.
Yeah, Casey was gonna join, but he's having mic issues. I was like, bro, I gave him a link to that stuff that like the ones that I bought, like the one that you're using. So I'm like, got no excuse. You could pay a little bit at a time, get you a nice little mic. But I'm in the process of talking about. There's a rumor that they're gonna reboot the Punisher. Yeah. So because he's gonna be supposedly he is in the Daredevil TV show, and what I'm curious as to how, given that this is going through like Disney, is like how raw they're gonna be with the Punisher.
Raw, as in.
Dude, he kills people, kills a lot of people.
Mm.
So no,
How much are they like willing to show and stuff?
right? They mean like whether or not that Daredevil was a not Daredevil, Deadpool was it a one off or something that Marvel is actively going on? I was like, okay, we got to start making adult type stuff. So, all right. Said Disney's likely waiting to see how well Born Again performs on Disney Plus before rebooting Netflix's final MCU show. It would certainly be funny coincidence since The Punisher itself is a spinoff of Daredevil due to John Bernthal's massive popularity in the role in season two. Many hope it would happen again, ushering the return of The Punisher and the other long canceled Netflix shows. I heard that Christine Ritter was actually pretty interested in doing um, uh, Jessica Jones again, and the other dude from Game of Thrones who did not Shang-Chi. What the hell? Iron Fist. What the hell I'm thinking about Shang-Chi. Oh, who did Iron Fist? I think he's interested in but I don't know about the guy who played Luke Cage. So it's been heavily rumored that Christian Ritter would reprise Jessica Jones in Daredevil Born Again, but couldn't due to a scheduling conflict. Instead, John Bernthal's Frank Castle replaced her role in the Disney Plus reboot as Murdoch's ally against Mayor Wilson Fisk's crackdown on superhero vigilantes. Since then, there have been relentless rumors about Ritter returning to the franchise, with Jessica Jones' star fueling those rumors. She showed herself training and wearing a Daredevil t-shirt only a month before shooting Born Again began. There's a cut subplot in Echo, the terrible show, about Daredevil looking for Jessica Jones, presumably related to Wilson Fisk and his plans to run for New York mayor of New York. Marvel Studios are relentlessly attempting to reintroduce Jessica Jones in the MCU for years. Unfortunately, their efforts have been plagued by bad timing with Ritter's schedule and overhaul of Born Again. However, Born Again is successful enough, it could have a domino effect and bring it back not only the Punisher, but Jessica Jones and the other Netflix shows.
Interesting.
Yeah. Netflix shows are damn, I said all kind of adjectives there. The Netflix shows were better than what they have been, the stuff they've been putting out on Disney Plus. So I would be very interested in that. It's like a more street level kind of grounded thing.
Oh, okay. Instead of it, whatchamacall that?
Fighting aliens and space people and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Where they I
Yeah.
I watched a little that was on Netflix, right? Jessica Jones.
Yes.
I watched it, or not all of it, but I watched most of it.
First season was really good. Second season was kind of because it's kind of like the first half of Luke Cage. It's like they had a really good villain, killed him for some reason to replace him with a one that was shit. And with Jessica Jones, Purple Man was a really good villain and did that weird thing where he was dead, but he was somehow haunting her, kind of weird shit. That was, what what it reminded me of was like the Mandalorian. First season was really good because it was hands off from Lucasfilm, and then it became popular, and the folks at Lucasfilm went and screwed it up.
Yeah. That's true. I think I did watch like the first season in its entirety of the Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm. Like Iron Fist was okay. The dude really didn't train because he's supposed to be like an expert martial artist, and he didn't train well enough to pull that off. So if they actually could get him to train actually well enough to pull it off, then And then he did some weird thing in the second season where he somehow gave his powers to his girlfriend. Because this was the beginning of the MCU stuff.
Oh, I was about to ask why.
Yeah. So this is basically, that's the whole thing with Jessica Jones and all that. It was kind of like, like what's going on? And that's essentially what it was. The beginning of that nonsense. The creation, I think this was around the Me Too stuff. And so they were looking to, that's right. So they were looking to swap, I guess. All right, okay, it's a little better. They were looking to basically swap the dudes out for chicks.
Oh, Pretty in short.
Right, regardless of whether or not anybody wanted to see it, but that's kind of how it goes. So would that interest you in any capacity? None? Little? A lot? What you got to
A
think
little.
about it? A little bit? Well, I mean, like if it's supposed to be based on whether or not Daredevil does well, it's like people ain't. How many people are actually on Disney Plus is still are going to watch any MCU stuff?
That's what I'm saying. It's like I had, well, yeah, I had given up.
Right.
Let's not, let me not sugarcoat it.
Well, and the thing about like the streaming stuff is like, how the hell do they figure out whether or not they did well?
Isn't it
Yeah.
off viewers? No, or
Well, like, all right. From what I've heard, someone talking about like in terms of like sports, like I think Amazon is happy with the sport, like the sports package, like the football that they did, and it's like some of the other ones who picked up football are happy with it. So I was like, I don't know how they determine whether or not, because on regular television is advertisements,
hmm
but that's not an actual thing truly on like basically like Amazon, because most people who have Amazon Prime, they have it because of the shipping stuff. They don't have it to watch any television.
that's me.
Right. So it's like, how much do you actually give a shit when there's a new TV show out?
Not much, unless it's like groundbreaking.
Right. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But
It's like I watched like the first season of The Boys.
mhm.
Yeah, so something like that. I was willing to watch.
Till they screw.
Outside of that, totally screwed up. But then
Yeah.
like outside of that, it's like
Uh, okay. All right. So we got some more rumors, but this one is more towards your favorite subject, Star Wars. All right. So take this with a grain of salt. Alrighty. All right. Star Wars Lucasfilm rumored to be developing a series set in the Knights of the Old Republic era. Given how they've handled everything else, it's like just leave it alone. Like just basically anything dealing with the extended universe or the books and stuff, just leave it alone. I don't even want them to touch any of this stuff because they're gonna screw this shit up. All
I
right,
like the
stop.
Knights of the Old Republic too.
Right. Do you remember how they were supposed to make that game? Like
Like the sequel.
right? No, they were supposed to remaster it, and some person came on and saying how they're gonna update the story. It's like, no, the thing that everybody likes about it is the story. I don't want none of you green haired, multiple tattooed, like many gendered folk touching anything about this shit. Like nothing. I don't want you to touch like nothing at all. So, all right. Star Wars fans have been clamoring for some kind of Knights of the Old Republic based project for many years. Yeah, before like Star Wars went to the shit. Now, most fans are probably like myself, don't want them to touch it, don't want them to look at it, don't even want them to breathe on the stories. Like,
So apathetic and
and
indifferent.
we're right, and more worried about how badly you're gonna screw it up. All right. So now we're hearing that a series set in the same era is in the works. So we've been hearing whispers of potential Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic adaptations at Lucasfilms just before The Force Awakens was released. But we've never really had that. Yeah. When George still owned the shit, that's when people wanted to like we're excited about that. It's like, all right. But we never really had anything solid to go on until plans for a project based on the massively popular video game appeared to be confirmed by Kathleen Kennedy herself several years ago. Although she didn't specify whether it would be a movie or TV series for Disney Plus streaming service, Kennedy mentioned that's something to look at based on the classic property that was in the works during a 2019 interview. All right. We haven't had any updates since, but it seems like the studio may finally be preparing to move forward with a Kotar based series. Although this, according to Daniel Reichman, Lucasfilm is developing a show set in the Knights of the Old Republic era. Although this doesn't necessarily mean that the series will be a direct adaptation of the game, which seems highly unlikely. We have been very surprised if at least some of the main characters didn't appear. But this also tells me that they have fully given up on the High Republic, because that's what they was pushing, because it was their own stuff. It was their own created characters. They didn't have to give any money to any other authors who wrote previous stuff, because that's what corporations love, to not pay people. Right.
True.
So this the events of the Knights of the Republic and the expanded universe legends are not considered part of the current canon. I don't consider the current crap part of the canon. From my point of view, and probably a lot of Star Wars fans, the expanded universe is the canon. This Disney shit is not.
Pretty much.
That's right. That's me. But we have seen Lucasfilm cherry pick certain characters and events over the years and completely screw them up. Kotar did influence Leslie Hetland's recent The Acolyte series to some extent, but the show was canceled and will not return for a second season because it did not make any money. So I don't know if I'm not gonna play this because who knows how they. So it's MTV News, including a female taking that. Republic movie, female filmmakers taking the helm as Palpatine's surprise return in the trailer for Star Wars Episode 9. I'm curious what the comments on this is. All right, so let's see what the comments are. You see, somebody put no.
I said it in my head in that voice too.
Dude, and this was in 2019 when someone did this. So I can imagine what it would be now. After episode 9, I wouldn't mind if they take more than 3 years at least to really wait and plan something out special. These movies are meant to feel like events. And here we are, over 3 years later, they have not done shit.
My gosh.
Somebody wanted Ray, Poe, and Finn. Like, okay. So that's funny. So I can imagine, dude. I can imagine. All right, I can really imagine what the people will be thinking about this like right now. Said almost 4,000 years before the formation of the Galactic Empire, Kotar started out as Lucas Arts game, released in 2003. You know what's weird is I know that's a long time ago, but it don't really feel like it's a long time ago.
I still remember playing the game. The game was a really good, licensed video game.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's Lucas Arts, so it's like back when they actually did good stuff. You had to go back 22 years, but a live action take is something fans have been hoping to see for many years, and like they may finally get their wish. What do you guys make of this rumor? Any interest in the Knights of the Old Republic Disney Plus series? No. So do we have any comments? Cool. That's the fans have been pretty much universally wanting, so we're probably all really happy about it, right? Star Wars fans happy. Laughing my fucking ass off. Just kidding. Go Abe. Why would they be happy about a company they don't trust trying to adapt a story that they like? What should they expect except disappointment from Disney?
Oh my gosh,
bro, it's like we already had. No, like I said about like they was gonna remaster the game, so we had a general idea of what their plans are. And the first thing out somebody's mouth was, "Yeah, we're gonna update the story." It's like, no. We like the story. Just update the graphics.
Exactly.
Bro, I don't I don't get the all right. What I don't get is the people who are so narcissistic. They cannot accept the fact that people don't want the crap that they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just realizing that and just like say, okay, we need to figure out what these people want and give that to them, right? So instead of doing that, they're like trying to force the issue. It's like you should just look at what like with Sonic. They already greenlit Sonic 4.
Oh wow.
Right, because this one is going to do well. You know, it doesn't cost that much to make, so it doesn't have to make $1 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all because the director actually listened to the fans. So when the fans went a little ape shit over the designs of Sonic, he went, "Okay, you guys don't like it, fine. We will go back to the drawing board and redo it." And they did. And now he's working on his fourth movie. Actually, I went to go see 3 like last Tuesday.
Oh, you did. Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude, it it's actually I enjoy myself because it knows exactly what it is. It's a movie about talking fucking animals who's bro, but that's fine. It knows like they made it what it is. It's just like the same thing with Gru and Dominions. So all those movies do so well because they know what they are. They're not trying to teach anything or trying to well, nobody
Pander.
nothing. So people
Yeah.
go to see these things because they're entertaining. Sonic 3 was entertaining. It's like they put a John Wick-ish shot of because Keanu Reeves is Shadow, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's this thing when it comes on, it's like like John Wick.
I would like that. That sounds funny.
Sure, dude, it is. It's like wow, that's John Wick, and like it reminds me of Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim knew exactly what it was. It was a goofy movie of giant robots fighting giant monsters.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be no deeper than that. So Del Toro knew that. Same thing with the old Hellboys. I love movies that know what they are and just do that. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not trying to change the way the world looks by it's like we need more female directors or whatever. It's like take the best director, whatever the hell gender they are. If they're female, okay. If they're not female, okay.
Okay.
It's like who's the best? Pick the best. It's like some of the best TV show like black TV shows from the 70s were written by Jewish people.
Oh yeah. I remember you told me. Yeah.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
like they were good. It's like just pick the best person. I'm tired of well, we gotta have this and we gotta have that. Like, no, because the people you are picking, you're just picking them based off of some quality that they can't change. So
Don't you miss meritocracy?
yeah, and hopefully it's coming back. So all
I hope
right.
so because yeah, I agree with you too on those points. Like if the movie knows what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a good way of putting it. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. It could just be like mind-numbing action scenes and like explosions everywhere. But if that's what you're going for and you know
Yeah.
what it is, then that's fine.
Pretty much. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't
Yeah,
need to be more than that.
it doesn't need
And
to be like movie of the year.
no. And the thing is that Hollywood used to have no problem with making that type of movie. You go but look through the 80s and 90s. There was a lot of those types of movies. They what 50, 60, 70 million to make. You didn't like you got some celebrities or whatever, one or two or whatever, but not like really big. They didn't have to make that much money. And if it was a hit, great. You made more money than you expected to make. But I don't need like some kind of movie where you film it for 4 months and then 6 more months is adding special effects and reshoots and it's like bro, you're doing a little too much. It's like I don't
and
need
it
like
and then it
yeah.
takes like hundreds of millions of dollars to make.
Yeah, and it has to make $1.5 billion to break
Yeah.
even. It's like, bro,
Gosh.
it's like at some point y'all need to realize, man, this ain't working, bro. Like seriously though. But they didn't before. I think maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel for that kind of stuff. Maybe this next year is going to be trash for the most part, and we just got to suffer through it because no, it's like even with this article, they were talking about the like 2019. You know what the climate was in 2019? So any script that they like, if they already started working on it and they haven't updated the script, you know what that shit's gonna be about? Gonna be some girl boss thing where just like ridiculous and so I don't know. All right. Well, speaking of updated and modernization, all right. How
Mhm.
big a fan were you of He-Man? Was that before your
Uh,
time?
Before my time, I just know it from like memes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly
With
speaking,
all right.
there's a
So,
lot of memes.
oh yeah, it could
I know
like a lot.
Skeletor.
No, like a lot of stuff. It is a product of its time. All right. It is an 80s cartoon. And the comic that it used to come like so you would get it and it would come with like a little comic book, right? So inside the like on the back or sometimes inside the packaging will be a little comic book. So He-Man, like the cartoon was not what the original story He-Man was. He was like a barbarian and he went into Castle Grayskull and got the sword and all that stuff. There was no Prince Adam and none of that. That was
Oh,
that
okay.
was something that came about later. So it was a bunch of barbarians because you got Conan the like you got Conan and all that kind of stuff. And there was a bunch
Mhm.
of movies that came out about barbarians. So they made a actual toy based off of that concept.
Oh, I
Fighting other
see.
yeah.
Mhm.
So and then they decided to make a cartoon about it, and that's when you get Prince Adam and like the little purple dude and the talking tiger. Like no, he just got like in the original concept, he just got powers, and he had like it was like he had a tiger, so you run around on a tiger. So all right, so did you hear? All right, Jared Leto is supposed to play Skeletor.
Oh.
I don't know how that's going to work because Skeletor is actually unless they're going to use CGI. Skeletor is a massive person with a
Is
skeleton face.
is this a movie or
Live action.
a live action? Wow.
Idris Elba is in this. He plays Man of War. So he plays the dude with the little green who's holding the horn with the green leggings on.
Now I see him. Okay.
All right, so since that is going to be Idris Elba, that means Tila, his daughter, I don't know who that's gonna play that, but she's gonna be black.
Oh, yeah.
Like her even though she could still be light skinned or whatever, but yeah, she's not gonna be a red. So that means that they have yet again race changed a redhead person.
Do you think that's okay though because they're not like the main character or main characters?
No, they're pretty main, dude. Like,
Oh, are they?
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
there's a reason why they're standing behind him. They're main cast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they have changed yet another redhead to probably to a black person.
Oh. Who's
So
the studio directing this or the director or that's not even there yet?
let's see.
It's maybe just an announcement, huh?
Um, I don't know. Okay. Well, let's read the article and see what it says.
Yeah.
Uh, Nicholas Galitzine. Wow, that's an interesting name. Has been cast as the new He-Man in upcoming Masters of the Universe live action. All right, let's see what this dude looks like. All right, so I'm gonna look him up.
Never heard of him.
Okay, so he's British. Let's share this tab, an image of him.
Galazzini.
Yeah, this doesn't. What the hell? It's a picture.
Is it
No,
because he has a? Is it because he's not? He
what's
doesn't
with the
scream like manliness to you.
no? What's with the pinch face, bro? What the hell? Okay, so
They said that they're moving away from the campiness, but
okay, so they're gonna have He-Man looking like a model. You know who looked like He-Man? And not even probably not even intentional. Do you remember that wrestling movie that just came out with what's the dude from High School Musical?
Zac Efron.
Right, dude, he looked exactly.
Oh, okay.
No, do you remember the pictures of him?
Not in that wrestling movie, no.
Okay, see if I can find F. All right, hope I spelled his name right. Efron. I'll just put He-Man. See if I can find a picture of him. That is He-Man.
Oh my god.
Like I said, it wasn't intentional, but dude, he looks like He-Man.
What movie was that in?
No, it was the I forgot. It's like I'm not the big
It's some sort of like wrestling movie or something.
right, bro.
Oh my
Look at this.
gosh, that looks like him. The resemblance is uncanny.
Bro.
Uh,
Dude, that is He-Man. All right. Yeah, you got me, bro. All right, okay. After what felt like endless days of false starts, we're finally getting a live action Masters of the Universe in theaters next year. We already had one of those with Dolph Lundgren. Came out in the 80s. Nicholas whatever his name is, male model dude, is playing He-Man in Suicide Squad, and Morbius star Jared Leto will transform into the evil Skeletor. Transforming is the right word because he'd have to put on like 100 pounds of muscle. I don't even think that is even possible.
You better start working out now.
Bro, he gonna have to be CGI'd or something, dude. Because there's no way in hell Jared Leto could even pull off that look. I'd be surprised though. Yeah, like he come out all purple and shit with the skull face and jacked. That would be hilarious. All right. Recently caught up with male model dude and asked if he's been watching the classic He-Man and Master Universe cartoon, and if so, how that compares to the upcoming movie. I have, yeah. Look, what I will say is our version is quite different from the original animation, which we all agree was camp within its own right and worked so well for the time. Yeah, because it was the 80s. It was an 80s cartoon. But there's been a couple of iterations, obviously, since there was the Revelation versus what? Revelation version of Masters of the Universe in the comics themselves. Everyone hated the Revelation version of the Masters because it was basically the T-Lot show, and we're very much treating our script as, excuse me, as Bible. Man, why they don't proofread none of this stuff no more, man? But it's kind of amazing to hear what this show meant to a lot of people. It was really informative for a lot of people, so it's exciting to do something that will have a nostalgic element as well as hopefully attract a bunch of new fans. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The decision to veer away from the animated series tone will be good news for some and unwelcome departure for others. Embracing silliness might have served Masters of the Universe well, but getting too serious could lead to a mixed result based on past experience. Bumblebee director Travis Knight is helming the movie about Eternity's greatest warrior, and the filmmaker has also tapped Sam C. Wilson, House of Dragons as Trapjaw, Kojo Atta, Beekeeper as Triclops, Hador Bjornsson as Goatman. Bro, how can you put Triclops and Goat Man in a live action movie and not be campy. There's a dude, Goat Man.
They're very they're very existences.
It's like I don't even know how to. Okay, they recently joined the cast and includes Allison Brie, promising young as Skeleton's Lieutenant Evelyn, Kamalia Mendez as Tila. Okay, let's see what she looks like. She better be a redhead. Nope, she is, but she, all right, she's not black. All right, so this is what she looks like.
She's the one playing that lady in white.
Tila, yeah. So this is going to be Tila. Like, okay, this should be interesting.
Maybe she'll wear a wig.
Man, maybe. All right. So Idris Elba as Tila's father. Okay, I understand. A lot of people don't seem to understand how genetics works, but I don't even know. I can't even imagine what her mother would have to look like for Idris Elba to have fathered that woman. It's like, okay. So look, we're talking about a movie with a goat man in it, so I'm gonna let that slide. While plot details are being kept under wraps, we know that the Knight's collaborator on Wildwood, Chris Butler, Paranormal Norman, penned the latest draft of the screenplay. David Callahan and Aaron and Adam Neem previously took a crack at it. He-Man gained widespread popularity through the animated TV series. He-Man and the Masters Universe aired 1983, 1985. You know what's amazing is when you think about all these shows that people have such fond memories of from the 80s, and then you go see how long they were actually on television. It's like they'd be like
only 2 years. That's
one,
true, huh?
Yeah, one season. Like the Silverhawks. If I go around anybody who's around my age and I start singing partly metal part like that, they would actually know what I'm talking about. And it was on for one season.
Oh my gosh. But it was so iconic at that time, huh?
Right. But that just shows you, like, they cancel stuff quick now. But dude, they used to cancel stuff quick as hell back then. Because it was no, because I think it was all tied to toy sales. So if the toy didn't sell, they'd be like, screw this. It's like they come out with another one next. Yeah, and all the kids, because I was one of them, would be sitting around. They'd have the Friday preview the day before the fall season of cartoons. So they would have like a preview on that Friday or something like that.
And they would show like all the shows in that season.
Well, they would show all the new stuff.
Previews.
Yeah, it's like, like little commercials and whatnot. And it'd be like maybe 30 minutes to an hour long.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you would see all the stuff. Again, this is before internet, before we had more than 4 channels.
Yeah, right.
Back in ye olden days when cartoons used to come on ABC.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day, boy. Spawning a vast array of merchandise, comic books, and a cult following, Netflix rebooted the property in 2021 with Masters of Universe Revelation, in which people hated.
I did not even know that there was a reboot of He-Man.
Yeah,
on Netflix. I did not know that at all.
Dude, all right. So it was done by Kevin Smith. So it was a Kevin Smith thing.
Who's he? Or
you don't know? Shit. Kevin Smith did Dogma. Did he was like your indie guy? Like, Bill and Ted. No, not Bill and Ted. Shit. Hold on, let me show you a picture of him. If I show you a picture of him, you know who I'm talking about.
But that thing on Netflix that was animated.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
And it was a bait and switch. Thing.
No.
Seriously, dude, it was like people excited about this thing because the animation was actually pretty cool.
Oh.
All right, so that's Kevin Smith. He did Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob, Dogma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he
I know those movies. Yeah,
right. So he's like he was the indie dude.
I see.
Right. So yeah, and basically it was about Tila. Tila, he gave her like some weird lesbian haircut. She had a like she had a friend. So this is basically He-Man's love interest that he decided to have a female friend. But they didn't actually fully go through it. That's the crazy part. Is they did the thing that a lot of gay people don't like is they tease. Like, mm, she could be. They did that thing.
Oh,
Right. And she got mad at Adam. So they made him they made all right. So the funniest bit and you got the memes about He-Man was He-Man, the difference between He-Man and Adam was he just got a better tan. That was it. Same hairstyle, same everything. Adam was supposed to be like this weakling, but he was yoked. So it's an 80s cartoon. So and the kids like we didn't notice. So what they decided to do in Revelation, they made him actually really transform. So he was like a girly man, like a really skinny dude who transformed into He-Man, and he got muscles and all that stuff. So she got mad because he didn't tell her his secret, and then he wound up getting killed. It was like it was just this bad thing, and it takes place after He-Man is supposedly dead, and this whole crap. It was crap, and it turned into the Tila show. People were really pissed off about it.
oh, yeah. I guess there really is a bait and switch.
Yeah, dude. And what's the crazy part is he was trying to pretend that no, it's not. No, it's just this like so they did the Netflix thing where they split it up into halves. So the first half was Tila. So he was like, no. We just did that for story purposes. It's gonna be all about He-Man in the second half. And then the second half rolls around and it's Tila.
Probably more so than the first.
Right. So people was like, bro, really? Yeah. Dude. All right. Okay. They have you checked out Creature Commandos?
No.
I've heard that it was okay. But apparently there was like a thing in it. And I didn't like because you know how all right. James Gunn and the DCU right now, it is interesting. They're like how everything is going. It's like the Superman trailer comes out. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't. It's like 50-50. It's 50-50 with the costume. I don't like the costume. Some people do. Like
These are DC characters?
yeah, the Superman one. The new Superman
Oh,
trailer that came
okay.
out. You saw it, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's like in terms of how his costume looks, people are kind of split. Some people like it, some people don't. So it's like the Creature Commandos didn't do that great, and it's not really getting that buzz. And then you got Superman coming out. So apparently there was something, since I didn't watch it, there was something that happened in it that all right. And here we go. Don't read too much into the latest DCU Batman reveal. James Gunn kept promising for more silhouette because he's not ready to commit on character details. Episode 6 of the DCU Kickstarter Creature Commando shows Batman standing on a rooftop looking down at crime boss Dr. Phosphorus. The image shows a mega stack cake crusader in his iconic costume, but there's little else that can be discerned about Gunn's take on superhero. Based on comments Gunn issued in Rotten Tomatoes television following the release of episode 6, it is easy to see why this brief look at Batman is so generic. Gunn said he asked for more silhouette after the original Batman on show. Dude, what the hell, man?
On the show.
Yeah, it was more detailed than he was ready to commit at this stage. When they first gave it to me, we saw a lot more Batman, and I was saying I'm not ready to commit to that. I'm not ready to commit to that. Oh, okay. He's repeating himself.
One more time.
One more time, I'm not ready to commit to that. So I was like, more silhouette, more silhouette, more silhouette. What this look at Batman does provide fans with Gun Explain is a clear indication that Batman not only already exists in the DCU during events we're seeing in Creature Commandos and this year's Superman movie, but he is well known within that universe. But I think a great way to show that Batman does exist. Oh, I think it's a great way to show that Batman does exist. He already exists in his universe, just like when we came to the Superman movie to see that Superman already exists. He already is known by people in Metropolis. We don't need to hear an origin story again. Yeah, because I think you probably screwed up. So yeah, it's just a way to introduce Batman as a part of this universe. He's an important part of this. Damn, he repeats himself a lot, and he's had impact on it, including defeating pretty dangerous, scary people like Phosphorus, who's pretty tough. Gunn then made an interesting comment that suggested the DCU Batman will team up with Superman at some point. This is the DCU Batman. And listen, I got to tell you, I just love Batman. I love him. I loved him since I was a little kid. He's one of my favorite characters. I've gone on a record in the past when I was at Marvel saying my favorite character is Batman. I love him, and we're going to do great things with him. He's the most popular superhero in the world, and I can't wait for people to see more of him along with Superman and together. The question is, what point will we see DCU Superman properly revealed? Will fans have to wait for the Batman the Brave and the Bold movie, which doesn't have a release window, or could Batman make a surprise appearance in another project before then? It could be sometime before we find out, given that DCU's Batman still remains uncast. All right, okay. It's worth noting that the DCU Batman is not the same Batman we see in Matt Reeves' 2022 Batman, played by Robert Pattinson. The sequel, Batman 2, was recently delayed by a year and will now release in theaters on October 1st, 2027, as part of a separate Batman epic crime saga. It's like, I don't know, dude. I do not know. But
He's not going to like cast him in that series, or
no,
or
I
he's not
think
going to include him until like later or much later.
I think he hasn't figured out how he wants Batman to
To
be.
to write him in there, huh?
Right. So he wants him to be known for the people who are watching this to know that he is known. So he's all right. The way the Superman trailer goes, he's already Superman. He already is in it. Seems like he's in a relationship with Lois Lane. So you look at it like prime Superman and prime Batman. It's supposed to be like the same age, which is about in their 30s, mid 30s. All right. Mid to late 30s, something like that. So it gets really weird because Dick Grayson is mid 20s. So he's like maybe 10 years older than 10 years younger than Bruce. But he kind of adopted him. So it's like that's like the whole kind of weird thing is like so Bruce Wayne has a lot of adopted children. Plus his plus Damian Wayne's, right? So you got like Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and Dick Grayson, plus Damon Wayne's. Then you have, I don't know if he actually officially adopted Signal. So there's a black guy, and then there's Cassandra Cain. I think he adopted her too.
It's gonna be hard to write or get the timeline straight.
That is why it's like you don't have to do an origin story, but you can do the story of what happened with Dick Grayson. So you can kind of do his origin story because at that point he was been Batman for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. So that way you don't have to do Batman's origin story, but you can do the lead to, because then you can do that for a little bit, and then and because he's probably maybe 13 or 14, like Dick Grayson wasn't a kid when he was a kid, but he wasn't like, I think maybe he was a preteen, maybe 11 or 12. So then 11 to 12, Batman at that time was probably mid to late 20s. So when he took him in, and then you can do Dick Grayson for 5 or 6 years. Then you can introduce Jason Todd and like that. And eventually, but James Gunn decided to skip over all of that and go right to Damian Wayne, and as Batman is mid to late 30s at that point.
Mm.
So it depends on how he's going to do this, because the way that they did it in the original DCU with Ben Affleck, his Batman was like 50, and Henry Cavill, even though Henry Cavill was probably older, I think his was probably maybe 30, something like that. Because they did him growing up, they showed him wandering around. So you figure he still had to go to college at some point. So he's probably like late 20s, maybe 30.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a big difference between their ages. And Batman and Superman are basically the same age. And as far as like the DC canon goes, they're about the same age.
Okay.
So like I used to like they had a comic that came out with called Super Sons, where
Oh,
Damon
my
Wayne,
my friend was in that. My friend was into that. So
yeah,
yeah.
and it was actually a good, nice little comic run. Then they got a guy from Marvel who didn't want to write for children, who didn't want to write children. So he did this convoluted ass way to age up Superman's son to be a teenager.
Oh.
So I think they kind of did some kind of weird thing where Damon Wayans is older now, but somehow Jonathan Kidd didn't get older. I don't, it's weird. They look like they're about the same age again. It's like you had something that was working and you just screwed it up because of reasons. Right. It even gets weirder than that. All right. So now Wonder Woman has a daughter, and her daughter is somehow uh her kid, like it's Wonder Woman's kid, and a combination of Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne's like essence or DNA or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Trinity.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
right,
interesting.
right. So there's now so in the comic, she refers to Jonathan Kent and Damon Wayans. I can't remember, I keep calling them Wayans. Damon Wayans
You're thinking
as
of the Wayans brothers.
right. I keep saying that. So she refers to them as her brothers because, in a sense, they are. It's like really
Oh,
fucking
wow.
weird, dude. This is
Yeah,
like really, it's really weird.
convoluted
So,
is the word.
bro, and at different times, Wonder Woman has dated both and has children with both Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent in different universes.
Oh.
Yeah, so there is there's a daughter from Bruce in one universe and a kid from I think a daughter is one a daughter and a son, and but different multiverse kind of things. Yeah, DC, like when you look at DC, is and look, comics in general, they've been around for a long ass time, so they got all kind of crazy ass stories.
That one is pretty crazy.
Bro, if you want to see something funny, go look at Superman covers from like the 50s. Superman was sexist as hell, dude. It was like it was like insane. It was insane how misogynistic he was. Dude, it's nuts. Saying the craziest shit to Lois Lane. And dude, it was crazy. There's like a whole thing dedicated to basically crazy shit Superman has said. Hold on, let me see if I can find something. Crazy stuff Superman has said.
I'm looking at some right now. They're pretty funny.
dude. It's like, especially like when you go, but you got to go like the 50s or whatever. I think maybe 50. Uh, no, I would suggest anybody who's watching this go look it up. There's a lot, but I don't know if I can show any of this stuff. No, it's actually pretty crazy. So, all right. Well, there is one thing before we go that I wanted to talk. The screen run had a interesting thing. We just go through this list right quick. All right. Is that okay with you? And then we can
Sounds good.
head out. All right. Screen rant and their list. See how much we agree with this. Ads, more ads. What the ads
Ads
on
on
top?
ads.
Yeah. So to get rid of the ads, you got to sign up for their crap. Okay, 10. You see it? 10 exciting
I see.
MCU changes. The franchise immediately undid. Spider-Man secret identity reveal was immediately undone. It was kind of stupid because basically, all he had to like instead of making people not remember who's Peter Parker is Spider-Man, he would just he should have basically told him make everyone on Earth forget what Mysterio said about me.
That would have been a easy solution.
Right. So if he would have did that, then all this other stuff. I mean, I love No Way Home, but he didn't need to do any of that shit. He's a super genius. Like none of y'all thought about that. I'm like, well, yeah. So yeah, okay. So Thor's one eye was way more temporary than you might think. No, he got a was it? He got a fake eye and which was it? Was it so he got his eye plucked out in Ragnarok, or he lost his eye, and then he got a fake eye at some point in Infinity War. So it's like it's like the Asgardians in the Marvel, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, are aliens. Not, I mean, they're gods, but they're looked upon as gods, but they're actually aliens.
Hmm.
So it's like you would think that since they can fly around and he can survive in space and all that shit, they'd be able to make him a fake eye, and you wouldn't even notice the difference between the fake eye. But there's like there's a thing in the comics that later on when he becomes all father, like he takes upon his dad's power. He only has one eye. So all right, so 8 Iron Man 2 retirements didn't last long. Okay. All right, so he was supposed to retire from the hero business not once but twice. Yeah, that's not a okay. Loki's many fake out deaths kept him narratively immortal.
What's the list
No,
again? Things that they had undid.
right.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all
Yeah.
right. So I'm like, okay, so these are the same dudes. So I'm kind of like see what their logic behind this, because these are the same guys. It's like, so he died. So Loki died. So this is him dying. But the other one is a like when Infinity War, he's a splinter off of out of time, which because of the and you probably would to really understand it, you'd have to watch the TV show. They don't really explain how he can still exist because he still dies. So Loki still dies, but that Loki, even though he's from the same time period, doesn't. So it's kind of a weird thing. I'm like, okay. Uh the Biofrost destruction didn't matter at all. The bridge.
It's like, whoops. Yes, it did.
Well, it's I'm trying to think. It's like, okay, so they use it to get from Asgard to the portal to go to Earth and other realms. But they showed that they were able to kind of do that themselves. Like Thor could do that on his own. And since Asgard was destroyed, like I don't think this is a bigger point as they think it is. Especially like number 6. Because Asgard was destroyed, so the Bifrost really didn't. So I don't know. And since he got Stormbreaker, he was able to travel on his own. So he didn't really need it, and the Asgardians were no longer on Asgard. James Gunn walked back past Gamora getting back with Quill. So what do you like? Did you had any thoughts about that particular thing?
No. I mean, I could see their point with the list, but yeah.
Because like story wise, she didn't have the she. There's a large chunk of her life that didn't happen that allowed her to be able to fall for him. It's
Okay,
like,
true. Yeah.
is you zig when you should have zagged. So that led you to enough different types of life experience. Say like, all right, you are a relatively nice guy, right? So nothing crazy has probably ever happened to you, but it could have been a thing where your mother lost you, like you went to go visit the Philippines or whatever, and you got lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of growing up how you did, you grew up like on the streets. You'll be a completely different person,
True. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I kind of looked at that as not necessarily him undoing that. Is more she's at a different spot. So, like I said, the little decades in between where she was and where she wound up being is like never happened. And she became a better person based off of being around the Ravengers, not necessarily whatever happened to her in between. So yeah, I don't know. Even Peter's Quicksilver is a quickly walked back. That was never that the person who did that, like who did that show, that was one of those things. There's a lot of stuff in that show that people was expecting because they knew more about the comic and how that story takes place that the director of the show did not know.
Oh, okay.
Right. So she did not know who Mephisto was, which is odd considering how the only reason those kids exist is because of Mephisto. It's like they're a piece of Mephisto or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you left a huge chunk of why this was like it was. So you adding Quicksilver is just another one of those things where I don't exactly know why the showrunner did that, because people started to assume something else, and so when it doesn't happen, they tend to be disappointed. And she's like, like I don't know why they're disappointed. I'm like, because you you didn't know what the story was, and you just thought it would be cool to put him in there for some reason. Bruce Banner's control of the Hulk is constantly in flux. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. But that's kind of comic accurate.
It's constantly in flux.
Well, I mean that's
Oh
comic
yeah.
accurate. So it's like there are some times where the Hulk takes over. There's some times where he has control. There was a brief time with the Professor Hulk. I don't know how many people actually like that particular part, but so I don't know. So far, this list is kind of like Sam Wilson drags his feet in becoming Captain America. Well, he's not. One of the most poignant and touching moments in the Avengers Endgame is when Steve Rogers passes by Bucky and gives his mantle to Sam Wilson for some stupid reason. even though he's his own character and doesn't actually need that. The one person who probably needs some redemption is Bucky. So, given that it's a screen rant, they probably don't see that. He's his own character. He does not need the shield. And that's why I keep saying, dude, this Captain America movie should be Falcon, the first Falcon movie.
True.
Yeah, so it's like, and the snap gets immediately undone in the next movie. Like, sure, yeah. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
It's an interesting list.
Well, it's Screen Rant, so I thought it might be an interesting thing to talk about.
I'd say it was.
It's just like, all right, all right, bro. So, what are you about to get into?
Probably have like a little snack or some water at least. A little hungry.
Oh, at least a good thing. My camera worked for the entire show.
That's true. You're able to, go to show your computer screen and stuff.
Yeah, show my chubby face the whole time.
And when you're reading the articles with nothing disastrous happening.
Well, given how what my little Christmas mishap with what happened with my debit card and the bill wasn't paid, I think that probably had a little bit to do with that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was like, hey, dude, pay your bill. We're not gonna make your stream show well until you do. We're gonna give you all kind of problems. But that's just how it goes. All right. So on the behalf of myself and the noob Avenger over here, please like, share, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And if you have any comments on what we're talking about, please let us know. Hopefully we won't get as much pushback as I got with the intergalactic stupid game that's coming on with the ball head chick. Nobody like, oh, I got yelled at about that. But that is the internet, so
Thank you, people of YouTube.
nah, dude, it's like opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and one,
And most of them stink.
yeah. And like myself, like you're entitled to believe whatever you want. And when that game comes out, go buy yourself 10 copies. Buy a copy for me too. I'm never gonna play it, but
Enjoy.
enjoy. Make Neil Druckmann very happy. So I would like to say goodbye.
See ya.